Thank you, Henry, for getting that for me. All right. So as I mentioned earlier, it is my privilege to introduce you to my new friend that I've been on YouTube or made a YouTube from a Zoom that we held. And she's originally from Utah, now here in Las Vegas. She's an executive director of her nonprofit organization. She's going to share with you what an amazing project that you've been working on all these years. But just to hear your miraculous story, so I'll have you share that with Judy Blake. Please welcome you.
Hi, everybody. Thank you. And thank you, Reimi. I'm honored to be here. Yeah, actually, we're from Southern California originally. And my story took place starting there. In 1997, was diagnosed with 3 autoimmune diseases. I had fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis, and lupus. I was in a wheelchair. I was losing my hair. I was losing my peripheral vision. I was losing my frontal vision. I couldn't walk, and I started to go to a rheumatologist, and he told me that pretty much I was the most debilitated patient he'd ever seen in 35 years of practice. And I was on 17 meds a day, including methotrexate, methylprednisolone, prednisone, and a gamut of other stuff that was very unhealthy. Fast forward, he told me about a product that caused cellular communication. And to give you an idea, that's me in 1997. I took the product, and it ended up to be the best thing that I ever did, because literally within 5 days, I received all my meds except the ones I had to titrate down on. And I ended up with a quality of life. This picture next here is me in November. And then the following picture down here was me going back to work as an interior designer. So, go ahead, pass that. 2000, and my daughter graduated, and we went on a cruise. And you can see I was not a tiny little person. I was wearing a size 26, 28. So my life changed a lot. I was well, but I didn't have the ability to really understand what I needed to do internally for my body. I was in a very emotionally and mentally abusive relationship. My husband of 24 years was not one of the best people on this earth. And I ended up divorcing. And I met the man of my dreams, and we'll be married 18 years in September. And with that, he was a law enforcement for 32 years, a sergeant in Glendale, California. He retired. Thank you.
I was born in Glendale.
We didn't stop you at any time.
Which hospital?
General Hospital.
No, it was the Catholic hospital. I'm trying to think of the name of it.
Glendale was on right in the mid part of that country down there. I can't think of the other, but
Glendale Adventist, Glendale Memorial.
Memorial.
Oh, well.
So when he retired, we went to Oregon. Oregon and I did not see eye to eye. It was a very small town, and I was ready to pretty much live my life in Valencia, California, which was a very suburban area. And then we moved to Utah. And in Utah, I decided that women needed a voice that I didn't have in 24 years. So I'm actually a founder and director of a nonprofit for women, where we assist women to go through any type of racism, to go through any type of abuse, addiction, survive a debilitating illness, escape polygamy, or don't have a voice. And we give them that, believe that we're being capable of enough. Living in Utah was a wonderful experience. I loved snow, and in 2015, I got diagnosed with MS. I decided to save money, cutting down on the product that I was on, which in turn gave me the MS. Lupus and MS is a very close proximity when it comes to autoimmune. The first 3 months I didn't sleep. I was in pain. I laid on the floor and cried. And these were my feet on a good day. One foot would turn hot, one foot would turn cold, and the pain was beyond any type of imagination. So we went ahead and decided that we were going to try and move into a warmer climate, because in the beginning of the MS, cold was my friend. By the time 2017 came, I couldn't handle cold. I was in thermals pretty much all year round. If it was 75 degrees, I was wearing thermals. There was no quality of life again. So we moved to Vegas and they lied. It is not warm here all the time. I will tell you right now. Snow, I'm like, really? Rain, really? Wind, really? And in January, February, and March, my reemitting and reoccurring MS changed progressively. And I was doing 10 flights of stairs a day. I had released enough weight that I was down to about 150 pounds and 5'9", which was a perfect weight for me. I am gluten-free, I'm vegan, I don't eat any sugar. I did what I needed to do for me to get healthy, and I wasn't getting healthy enough. I am naturopathic, totally on no meds. I haven't been on meds since 1997, but I was on THC and CBD. If any of you know about sublingual THC, there's a bunch of different types. I was on the nighttime formula, which was 750 milligrams of THC to 150 milligrams of CBD 4 times a day, 3 times during the day, 1.5 droppers full, and 4.5 at night. And I still couldn't get out of bed. January, February, and March came, and if you live in Vegas, the weather was horrible, and I was really, really having a hard time. My husband watched me walk up the stair one at a time. My husband became, from being a husband and a lover, to my caretaker. That's not what he signed up for, but he stuck around for it. In March, I went to bed and said, I hope I don't get that. And I meant it. I support women. I'm a mentor. I am a very positive person. At that point, I wasn't doing anybody any good, including myself. One of my women of worth called me. My name is Soul Mom with them. I will be 67 in August 9th. And she said, you need to check out this Frequency One testimonial page on Facebook. I went to a healing. They had Reiki, they had all this stuff, and they had the wand. This wand was kind of like a blow dryer. But if you check it out, it's helping you this. I have never been one to say no to anything. I believe that people's minds need to be open to every gamut in this world. There's modalities here that we may not understand, but our body has the right to heal itself. I did it in 97. I knew I could do it again. So on April 14th, I got the wand. After 2 weeks watching this, I saw a very powerful testimonial about someone that had gotten the COVID shot. She got all the boosters, and she ended up with neurological damage. She couldn't talk, she couldn't walk, she couldn't swallow. Her husband was documenting this whole film of her journey and lack thereof. Someone bought her a wand, and in 5 days, she was back to the land of the living between drinking the wanded water and doing this protocol. And I said, I'm getting this. I walked downstairs, my husband's sitting in the chair, and I said, I'm buying something. He's like, okay. And I said, no, I'm buying this thing like a blow dryer. And I promise you it's going to help me. And he's thinking, what closet am I going to stick this in now? I have thousands of dollars of stuff stuck away that I have tried, and nothing worked. I was spending $27,000 a year on nutraceuticals because I don't take meds. It's a lot of money to invest in your body that's not working. It kept me alive. It kept me functioning on good days. But when the bad days were here, they were really bad. So on April 14th, I showed her a Korean meat dog. Actually, you want to hand me my, yeah, which one? That my day runner. Yes. So this is my Braley. Braley was on a chain for 2.5 months until she was 5 months old. She was in South Korea, and she was going to be somebody's dinner. We worked for the rescue. I placed over 110 dogs, including one with my good friend Renee, and that was Braley on a chain. Well, Braley has a lot of fears, and she has a lot to get over. We got her in 2021, so she just turned 2. She and my 15-and-a-half-year-old, I have 4 dogs, 18, 15-and-a-half, 3, and Brayley, who was 2. They got into it in the kennel. And I dove in to get them separated. They were playing with the toy. Shayna, my 16-year-old, did not want to give it up, and Brayley's like, heck, you're not. I'm gonna take it anyway. I had just gotten the wand. These were some of my bites. If you see the white strip between the fingers,
Yes.
that was 1/4 of an inch long and 1/8 of an inch deep. My PA across the street came over and glued it together, steri stripped it, and then glued it on top of it, and it came apart 4 times. You don't heal well with that. Within 24 hours, my bites, using the wand and wanted water on the bites, encrusted over.
And you covered it, right?
You covered it with something.
I covered it with a gauze bandage, because you can't use it through any type of plastic or metal, so. This was some of the bites as they heal 4 and 5 days later. And this one is really amazing. If you see, there's a crater over here. In one night, the crater dissipated. And to give you an idea now, yes. These are my arms. And this is my finger. I have no scar.
Wow. That's amazing.
So I decided that night, my husband decided to wand the water. Not understanding that you only need to do it for 1 or 2 minutes. He did it for 49. He wasn't. Literally.
Is he still alive?
He's right there. And he wrote the water. I wrote the company. I had never seen the company with such integrity. And they said, no worries, go see Miss Eileen. She'll give you a new one. I called her, we came down, we met. And it was family at first sight.
Yeah.
And she gave me the new wand. And that was on Monday, so the 17th. And I decided I'm gonna start wanding my feet and my legs. And I'm gonna get well. And I use positive affirmations to do it.
Yes.
And I always use positive affirmations throughout my whole thing. I coach, that's what I do. Within a week, I started feeling back in my toes. And then I felt it in my balls of my feet, and then I felt it in the arches of my feet, and then I felt it in my heels, and my legs, and my hips. And I said to my husband, I want to drive a truck. I had not drove in 4.5 years. Giving up my independence is probably one of the hardest things. You know, driving Miss Daisy, Louis was driving Miss Judy. I felt like a 2-year-old. I couldn't go anywhere or do anything without someone being with me because of the risk of falling, because of the risk of, I was on THC. I wasn't cognitive constantly. I was clouded sometimes. So I drove this truck around the corner with him in it. And then I came back and a week later, I said, I'm gonna take it to get my nuts done. Now, he has a Silverado truck that pulls our fifth wheel. My last car was a Sequoia. It was like parking the Titanic. Went around the corner, went around, got my nails done, came back and said, oh my gosh, I can feel my feet, I can do this. On May 24th, yes, June 24th, May 24th, I got myself a car.
Yeah. Breakthrough.
So that is my little Kia. And I love it. And the salon has given me my life back. It is not only giving me my life back, but my husband said something to me one day that I will never forget. He looked at me and said, I have my life. This has been the greatest gift in my life. I knew I was always going to kick my ass to the curb, but I always thought it was going to be in a way that I would still have to struggle. It is going to be 3 months that I got this long, on the 17th of If it's not working right away, I can stick with it. Not everything happens overnight. We want instant gratification, like that pill. We want it immediately to work for us. And it doesn't always happen. The body needs time to heal, and it progresses accordingly. I think another reason that I also healed so quickly was because I am in really good shape. I am now with the wand down to 135 to 140 pounds. That's what I mean. I was wearing a 26, 28, and a 2. I never thought I'd see single digits in my entire life, but I'm healthy. My naturopath took 7 vials of blood. He could not believe that they were all normal. And more than that, my BMI is at 17%. Oh, I didn't even know there was 17%. The point of it is, it works if you allow it to work, but you have to stay positive and want it. Negativity breeds negativity. What you think about, it brings about. So stay positive, look for support. If anyone needs support from me for a testimonial, I am happy to do that. It's about supporting others and sharing this amazing, miraculous gift that we've been given. So here's the gift to all.
Thank you, Julie. Oh my gosh. I know you may have questions. Someone
Questions?
Someone asked, BJ asked about wanding your eyes. Because,
Yes.
would you share a little bit about
Sure.
that?
So yes, I've done that. I'm wanding my whole face, actually. So I do an infinity. Okay. Funny enough, we went to the optometrist, and I'll let Louis share his testimonial when he starts talking, but my ophthalmologist or optometrist came in, and he's seen me for 5 years, and he knows I have MS, and I'm allergic to everything, so I can't have my eyes dilated. So they do a special test to make sure that my nerve endings in the back of my eyes are safe and okay, and are still having red to them. I had ocular neuritis when I first started out, and the neurologist told me that I was going to be blind, and I said, no, I'm not, because I'm Stantec at the time, and now I know it's never happened again. But my optometrist was refracting my eyes, and I'm reading this really small little thing, all the way down, and he's like, okay, do that again, and I did, and he's like, okay, and I'm telling him about the wand, right? So he goes into Louis' room. He goes, I'm really confused. And he goes, what are you confused about? He goes, Judy's prescription's not changing, but she can see really well close. I was reading my cell phone without my contacts and without my glasses. Wow. Okay. And he's like, that's impossible. She's going to be 67. You're supposed to, your arm's supposed to be like longer than you can handle to see things. Right. Not happening. My eyes are getting better. Yeah. And clearer. I have not been able to wear contacts. They're called monovision, where you have one close and one far. Because my brain, with the different lesions I had on it from the MS, it couldn't function. So I had to wear regular contacts for distance, which meant I had to put bifocals on to read close, and it was just a nightmare. I'm back into the monovision, and I'm seeing perfectly clear. And so that has been amazing. So yes, I do want that. I do want my face. I want my neck. I will stay ageless as long as I can. I will make a caveat. I have metal in my arm. I have a plate. I have avascular necrosis. And I did surgery in 2003. They wanted to fuse my hand. I refused. It left me with less than 65% range of motion in my arm, in my hand. And so I was just dating my husband at the time, and he wanted to hold my hand, and I couldn't do it because I couldn't turn my hand to do that. So I always had to give him my left hand. We went to a little place called Cambria. He brought me a magnetic bracelet, and I started getting some feeling back with it. And then used over the years using different modalities. I still only had about 65%. So whenever the joke was, whenever I went to get changed, I put my hand out, and all the change would fall on the floor because I'd forget I couldn't turn my hand over. Wow. My phone now faces up, and I still have a metal plate in my arm with 8 pins and 10 screws.
So do you wander with that plate?
I do. I do.
I do too.
I don't stay on it.
Right.
100% to heat it, but I do pass it by, and I did a test. I wanted my arms with the bites, and I didn't want the arm with the metal, and those bites did not heal. So I started putting the water on and wanding them, and I've had no problems. I also have implants. In 97, when I was really sick, I lost all my teeth. I had dentures. I wore them for over 40 some odd years, and I lost over 10% bone following my jaw. Fast forward to getting these lovely implants, $67,000 later, because they kept screwing them up and they made the implants wrong. So it's been a whole journey and nightmare with that. Finally got it where every time they took them out, they had to unscrew them with the drill. It set off my MS. So they had to sedate me. $500 of sedation. I'm like, this is not working for me. So thank God prosthodontists here made amazing teeth, snapped in, and I still won my mouth. I actually read a scientific study on one of the Facebook testimonial pages that a scientist put on. If you think about it, titanium is one of the strongest metals there are. Right? You're going 12 inches into the body. However, you lay out in the sun, especially in Vegas, in 110, 15, 20 degree heat. It just pounds on you. And you have no issues with any of the titanium. So chances are, with the few minute amount of time that you use with the wand, it is not going to cause any type of swelling in your body to affect that. That is my choice. Obviously, with the company, they want to cover their own selves. So I wouldn't share that openly. But if somebody asks me, I do tell them, yes, I do want that area. Because this is where I have the issues. I have no bone. I have nothing in here. And luckily, it's starting to redo itself. So, yeah.
So do you do your back?
I do. And this is another thing. So I separated my shoulder. I have also, I'm a mess. I was really a mess. I have like 15 doctors in my family. My son-in-law is a surgical oncologist. Okay, my daughter's an RN. I used to work in OB. I have orthopeds, cancer specialists, I mean, you name it, and I don't trust any of them as far as I could probably throw them out of this room. I'm the only one that's homeopathic. So I was working for an orthopede and I separated my shoulder. I broke my wrist 7 times and I fractured my elbow twice. Okay, so I really was a mess. I couldn't reach other than up here. That was as far as I could go. I can now reach the other side. Oh my God. So yeah, I want my back because I can touch it.
So you're just holding it.
I do this way, and then I change hands, and I do this way, and I bend over, and I go up this way, and then I go across, and then I go across and down. I mean, that's somebody who can do it.
Yes.
Great.
But
Well, I like the fan thing I've seen on the.
and I haven't found one yet that I'm 100% sure of. So I would love if you found one.
We just
because-
used an oscillating fan in Belfast.
Oh, on that. Okay.
Yeah.
There is one under this gentleman who's part of Price
Uh-huh.
or the distributor. He does, but his is $200.
Right.
Wow.
But it does. It oscillates. It holds the one like it
It does
oscillates
everything.
all over. I can send it to you to see.
That would be great.
But
Yes.
My brother, we went to California. Do I have another minute? Sure. My brother, we went to California. My brother has myasthenia gravis. He has a colostomy bag with colon cancer. He has bone on bone in his hips and his knees. He also has had prostate cancer. My brother is 77, he's 10 years older. And my brother's the most stubborn human being in the world. If you look up stubborn, Ronnie says he will not listen to anything I say. And then when I went down and saw him, he couldn't believe it, because the last time I saw him was 2 years ago. And so I ended up going to California, and we started talking to him. And we were talking to him for a while. And we wanted him, my husband wanted him, I cleaned his kitchen. We didn't want to go there. And, 2.5 hours for 3 little counters. That is my brother, and that is me, and you can see there is a wand on this couch. My brother was on 6 hydrocodone a day for the last 15 years. He is down to 2. I never thought he would do it. It's slow. He has good days and bad days, but he's patient. And I'm very grateful, because I didn't think my brother was going to be here very much with his quality of life. Anyone? Thank you again.
Thank you. Okay, great. That was worth traveling all the way down to Los Angeles. You're welcome. We want to now cut to some product knowledge. For those that will be bringing you.
I have a question.
Sure.
Is there any, you already mentioned that if there's anybody
Is there anyone new?
new, yeah,
Yeah, who has not?
just one, oh, okay.
Okay,
we do
okay,
have
good.
I was gonna say
Yes,
to like,
exactly.
invite others to share.
Yes,
That was powerful.
very
That
powerful.
was powerful. Wow.
So, have you seen videos already on the Iteracare one, or is this first time? First time. I bet you want to know more about what it looks like, how does it work, and so on. So I'm going to introduce Henry. He's going to walk you through some basic information. We have countless videos that you can study after, and I'm sure your friend will be able to walk you through more information. But the most powerful part, just yesterday, sitting around a table talking about, oh my gosh, you're my neighbor. You know, and all the countless stories, personal stories. So anyway, Henry, come on over. Take it from here. I'll pull up these
So,
slides.
real quick, just to introduce myself, my name is Henry George. I've met many of you here, from previous meetings. I'm originally from the Cook Islands. You don't know where that is, just Google it, you'll find it. We're not too far from New Zealand. We're just below Hawaii from the equator. Population on the island is about 12,000 people. English, we do speak English. We are New Zealand citizens, but we are a governing country. We do have our own prime minister. But anyway, how did I end up in the United States? That's a long story. You can invite me to dinner at your house. Yes, and I can cook for you. Too.
Okay, that
My specialty is really chicken, so, yeah, if you like chicken, anyway, so. My, real quick, my journey, with the Iteracare is my pastor. He's a little Filipino man, love him dearly, I've known him for about a year, and he, 2 years, maybe about 3 now, had a stroke, people who have a stroke and heart attack, the side, hands curl up, literally this part comes down here. And I've always known Pastor for that, when he's preaching, he's dragging himself and he's got the microphone, right? Then a week later, he invites me for lunch, we went out to lunch, and I see him get out of his car, right? And he's closing the door. And I'm looking at him and he's walking naturally and he sees me and goes, hey, brother, with his hands. And I was like, oh, I thought to myself, what a miracle, did Jesus heal you? But it's more than that too. I mean, the Lord provided an opportunity in the sense of the device, the technology. I'm not a conspiracist, this technology has been known, but it was tucked away. I won't mention pharma, Yeah, but anyway, but
Yeah.
yes, Pastor, I said, Pastor, what happened? He goes, you wanna know? And I said, yes. Okay, you need to meet this woman. Her name is Eileen. Many of you have met Eileen. What a special gift for us. I'm telling you, she's just an amazing lady. A big heart, big heart. And then introduced to Sunny, meeting Sunny, then Sunny to everybody that's in this group. That was my whole journey. I don't have that much health issues except for edema, where water's retained in your feet, right? And my legs, my feet look like ripe tomatoes, right? It's like you can poke a needle and it'll explode, nice and shiny, right? Some of you can look, some of you are laughing, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about, right? I have to say, wanding, ever since I've been wanding, I noticed that everything's starting to shrink. Now I can see my ankles instead of cankles.
Ankles. And those.
Yes, and you know, when you lift your toes, those, is that what, ligaments? Is that what it's called? Whatever that called is, but anyway, now I can see that too. Whereas before, I used to push, right? You push into it and it makes like a indent, like a hole. I could roll a ping pong ball and it'll fall right in. That's how bad it was. But here's the crazy part, when you drink the water, the smell, when you pee, the smell, you can like, oh, that's probably all that stuff that's floating in your feet. But that's my only testimony. And the big one was my pastor. I said, Pastor, I don't care how much it costs. I want to get one. Go and see Eileen. Met with Eileen, and that's when my journey, for my health. Since 2010, I don't take any medication. Never, ever since 2010. After, learning about holistic medicines, certain leaves, natural stuff that God, provided on this earth. My parents, my dad is a, we call it a dominated medicine. He's a natural herbalist, medicine. He's learned this for a very long time. And in the islands, a lot of people would see him for certain medicine that he would say, get this plant, this flower, this root, bring it here, I'll mix it for you, yada, yada, go drink it. That's what he did. And so I've always been interested in medicinal medicines. But then with introduction into this technology, I was like, wow. So ever since then, November of last year, and I've just been doing me, right? But never, I've shared it with some people, but I never thought of the business side because I promised my wife I would never, ever all these network marketing. programs. But I have to say now, when opportunities, that's involved with network marketing, I've noticed they got the best products. They have the best product. And I met a lady in Oahu, Honolulu, through Nanu. Some of you saw her testimony on the previous Zoom call. I know I'm
No, please.
but anyway, when I met her in Oahu, Lanu called me because she's like, brother, I need 10 machines. And this is a Saturday evening. I need them by Monday. And I'm like, UPS ain't open tomorrow. It's Sunday. So she's like, I need it really bad because I have this meeting with all these women because they're blown away with her testimony, right? Her testimony alone is amazing too, right? So I offered my service. I said, sister, I'll jump on a plane and deliver it to you. Who wouldn't, right? Go to Hawaii.
Right.
The plan was to go for 2 days. And that's when I checked with my CEO, my wife. Okay, how many days are you going? 2 days, tops maybe 3. Okay, so I get there and Sister Lan was like, can you stay 2 more days? And I'm gonna check with the CEO. So I did, she cleared it. And I think that's where my journey really began in being really serious about this opportunity. Since November, I just been sharing it, but never looked at it in the sense of this company really does take care of you as a distributor. Very generous. When you understand the compensation plan and when you understand just what they do, it's like, it's everything about giving to you. And that will motivate me to sell more, right? But anyway, this lady here, Sylvia, she got into an accident really bad, and then Lanu, because of her testimony, her testimony was neuropathy. She couldn't feel her feet, cannot feel, no feeling. They had to cut one of her toes. But using the product for like 15 minutes, she couldn't believe she could feel her feet. She started walking. The next day she did errands. And then the next day she drove herself. She hasn't driven the car for like 7 years. She drove to her friend's house, who's in her late 70s. No, sorry, late 80s, 89 years old. But anyway, Sylvia is one of 9 women in the world that's given an award for the top sales in network marketing.
Wow.
Yeah, she hit 1 million 3 times. And when she used the product, she couldn't believe how quick it was.
Yeah.
But what's amazing about her, her story is in this book. Many of you that I know in this group are doing the business. I would highly recommend that you read her life story. It will change your whole mind on business. It will change your whole mind on you as an individual. I mean, it's on Amazon, so you can go on Amazon.
Please read the title and
The title is Chasing Success: How Wealth Exposed My Deep Poverty. The story is amazing. It's amazing only because I was surrounded by 12 women, right? I don't know what it is, but somehow I always get surrounded by women. Yeah. And
Must be a tough life.
yeah,
Can you hold the book up?
yes. And so I shared my testimony before I started wanting the ladies. And she heard a statement that I made. You know, I've been chasing after money, chasing after money. It should be the other way around. So it should be just do good things to human mankind. You know, our neighbors. Yeah, the money will follow. And ever since I've been following these principles, I've seen change in my own life, right? In my finance too. I'm not the greatest CPA or in my own business. I am horrible like that, but I've come to a place where her testimony can help us on our journey in business and of course life, because you have to read her story to understand what I'm going through. And so many of us have seen this, right? These slides. What blows me away is that these are iconic people. It validates exactly what we're sharing. You know, we had a nice I call it a Tupperware party, but I think that's the new trend.
The wanding party.
The wanding party, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So we haven't, we're still, playing with names for the party, but those parties, like for me, what got me more excited is that trip to Hawaii. That was the thing, because the first party, there was 5 women there, all products sold. The products were sold. We had 12, 12. We ran out of product. Good thing Renee lives in Oahu. And I'm thinking, wait, Renee's here. She might have some product. So I called her and she's like, where are you at? I'm at Enchanted Lake. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm just around the corner. So she drops off the products. The women were happy. And I would say 12 of them, the next day calls Lanu. I want to order 2. I want to order 3. The word just took off, And so, isn't that exciting that this is good news that we're experiencing? We all have our own testimonies of people that we love, people that we know, friends that are getting their life back.
Yeah.
And so that's one of my missions. It's funny that what Eileen said was that she's in the same boat. I'm neglecting my business and bringing a Iteracare. Well, you know, well, I'm putting more of my time in Iteracare than my actual business.
Yeah.
And so I gotta, check on that. I gotta get
Retired.
But that's how, because, again, what she said in the book, what Sylvia said in the book, you have to have a belief. You have to really believe in your product. With that belief, you know, it's, you know, people are going to, you know, be, what do you call,
Connected.
yeah, exactly. And, I'm sorry.
I
I'm
know,
laughing,
you
but-
don't have to say
Yeah.
sorry.
I'm sorry, because I'm one of those people, I don't like following. Follow the little program is, I get carried away, but,
But
yes, you wait,
your physique, you've changed.
thank you. Oh, that's another thing,
Yeah.
and I never knew this, how many of you knew that you can lose weight? in the
Yeah.
beginning?
No, and I don't
Yeah.
wanna lose it. I'm in my bottom line.
No, it's basic, it really is, because, you're right. I would say, I was about 300 pounds.
Okay.
Right, this was November, November,
Wow.
305, 305, right? Today I'm at 272.
Wow,
272.
congratulations.
Here's what's crazy, I'm thinking to myself, how? But never realized, right? So I want my love handles, men, you know about the love handles? I want here a lot,
Okay.
right, on the side, a lot, and of course here. And then Eileen goes, brother, did you know that they have a protocol, right, for losing weight? And I said, where? And she's like, right here, the spleen. And I thought, that makes sense why I am who you see today. Is because I've been focusing on the spleen area.
And I encourage you to change your words of losing to
Yes.
releasing, no, releasing. Because you want to
Welcome back.
find your keys when you lose them, but you do not want to find your weight again. So releasing it to the universe and letting it go.
That's right.
You just got a coaching moment for free. I am for hire.
No, but I feel good, I feel great,
Okay, but
I do, and my family is drinking a lot of
What
water.
about your dad?
You know, so-
Parkinson's.
What's that?
Parkinson's, Papa.
Papa, yeah, he, you know, he does, you know, with the head, hands.
Oh,
You know,
Tremors?
I see that in- yeah, you'll see that.
He went back to work.
Yeah, Uncle Joe, your dad's hair
Turning black.
turning black,
And
he's
he's
got
growing
silver
more hair.
hair. Silver hair turning black. I'm still working on mine,
His hands down.
his hands are opening up, yeah. But anyway, that's, you know, if you don't mind,
no, not
I
at all.
think the testimony, maybe instead of everybody,
Absolutely.
is there anyone that has a testimony that wanna come up? If anyone wanna share a testimony? Yes,
Thank
yes.
you, Lee. Absolutely. Let's share it, especially if you haven't met. New stories.
Hi, everyone. I'm the new person that's looking for a driving position. I recently lost mine. I am available. My name is Louis and I am Judy's husband. And there's a couple things that she failed to share with you. One of them is Judy probably has one of the biggest collection of flip-flop shoes. Probably 60 to 70 pairs. I mean, it's like some people collect jewelry, some people collect.
I collect that too.
He collects flip-flops. And at the height of her neuropathy and everything, she couldn't wear flip-flops. She would lose her balance. Her foot would slide off to the side. She didn't know that she wasn't on her shoe. She could fall. She's wearing flip-flops.
Yeah.
Never. I hope you never have to deal with a loved one that you can't. When we were in Utah, watching her cry, watching her scream on the floor, There was no med that could touch the MS. Nothing. We had chiropractors come to the house. We had people from the LDS religion come, give her blessings.
And I'm Jewish.
We,
I tell you.
like she said, she came down and said, I'm going to buy this thing, I'm thinking, okay, which closet is it going into? Because we have a plethora of things that she's tried to make herself healthy. So it's been an incredible journey, and it's a journey that is just starting, and that road is going a long way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Would you share your story about your eye? I caught that on your testimonial.
you.
on the-
I'm just gonna segue right into it.
It's beautiful.
So, I'm sitting in my optometrist's office.
Tell them how it happened in the beginning.
My left eye, I was a police officer in the city of Whiteville. I rode a motorcycle. I was the one that had the real nice white, the real nice flashing lights that you didn't want to see behind you, especially in the on position. But, on the way to work one morning, about 5:30 in the morning, it's still dark. I'm on my way in, there had been a bad accident on the freeway. I'm doing 65, 70 miles an hour. Truck in front of me kicks up a piece of flare, hits me square in the left eye. I hold on to the handlebars, I go forward, so it doesn't knock me off the bike. I go forward, I drive off to the side, I put my, I'm wearing a hand glove. I wore my gloves, I didn't wear my protective eye, protection, that way. I put my hand up, my nice tan glove is now a bright red from all the blood that is in my eye. Being that I am not someone to call for help, I make my way to the police station in behind. I park my motorcycle. One of my guys coming in for briefing. I wave him over and I can see him shaking his head like, God, we haven't started yet. What does he want from me now?
Oh.
Well, he comes up and it's like, have you ever seen those cartoons where the eyes bug out?
Oh my God.
Yeah, he saw me and he saw the blood coming down my face. It was like, so I get transported to the hospital. So I go through therapy and blah, blah, blah as well. The impact energy went through the eye, rebounded out, and it caused scarring behind the retina. So when I look out of my left eye, it's kind of like when you swim and you go underwater and you don't have goggles on, you can kind of see, but it's distorted. That's what it's like when I look out of my left eye. That is directly straight on. If I look a little bit off to the center, things come into focus. So my left eye is 20/40. So the optometrist walks in and he says, shaking his head. And Dr. Todd is not usually one to get
Conversation.
confused about things. And he goes, I don't get it. I can't explain it. I don't get it. I said, well, don't you get it? He says, Judy's eyes haven't changed, and but she's reading. She's reading stuff that she shouldn't be able to read. He says, okay, well, let's look at you. Well, from day one going to him, he takes a scan of my eye every day, every year. And I ask, is there any technology to reverse the scarring and to eliminate it? No, nothing's caught up with it yet. Maybe someday. And all of a sudden, he looks at me, he looks back at the skin, he's looking side to side. Point, what's wrong? He said, your left eye has got that. The scarring isn't as bad as it was a year ago. He has never, ever said that. So, am I wandering my eye? You bet your sweet hippie I am. And I wander in the infinity sign. All I can say, it's been since 1997 that this happened.
Mm.
And I didn't have to come off the bike, because I went back to work, I retired in 2007. So as of this year, I'll be retired 60 years.
And the weight loss.
And at one point, I think I was about 272 and 75. I was the epitome of a good motorcycle officer. And they say that cops eat donuts. But I'm telling you right now, they don't. They eat power biscuits. That's what skills are. They are power biscuits. So whenever you see a donut stand, just think of it as a power biscuit. So, yes, donuts are good for you. So,
Thank you.
any questions?
So your tissue is, like, you can see more tissue or in your eye, or the scarring?
The scarring.
Scarring, yeah.
It's healing.
So when you look at the scan, it was really up and high. Now it comes down and it's down. He says, it's an improvement. It's marginal, but he says, this is an improvement I haven't seen in any of the other scans. So I'm really interested to know more about this one.
Yeah.
So he says.
So did you sell him a one?
Not
We
yet.
haven't bought it yet.
We're working on it.
We're like farmers.
Yes.
We plant seeds.
Right.
We
Watch
wait
it
for the
grow.
seeds to grow.
Yes,
And
yes.
this one is,
growing.
we're nurturing it. You gotta put a little bit more fertilizer on it. We will get it.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
Wow. Is there anyone else who'd like to share a personal story?
Elisa.
Oh, Elisa's here. Oh my God. I met Elisa yesterday. Please come up and share.
But
Wow.
my story is not that,
Oh,
that
it's
amazing that
fantastic.
this one. That is amazing.
Notice how she's walking, by the way. But she can.
Oh, I had, it felt like accident, but no in car, just, I was walking, I fell. And, here, I hit my knee. And, I went to therapy, but I was in 2008. So then I couldn't sit in my floor like, you know, those
Cross-legged.
I don't know what is the
Cross-legged.
cross-legged. So, either way, I couldn't do this one anymore. And I couldn't sleep in my bed.
Yeah.
So, I couldn't sleep because that was like pain in my back. Yeah. Or if I was sitting, like few hours, when I stand, I didn't stand like that. So no fast. So, but after, I don't know, maybe 1 month. So I was working in the computer and then my phone ring, I was like, this is cool. That is amazing. So that was my first signal. Also my eyes. So I was starting to look like that. Now I can read close. So that I want my eyes. Yes. Like 2-3 minutes every day in each one with closed eyes. So that is now I can sit in the chair like this one. I can go in the floor. I can watch a movie on my belly. Nothing.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. And for those of you who are YouTubers, Lisa has a YouTube channel and it's in Spanish. So if you have any Spanish speaking, I would send you to her YouTube channel.
I'm going to do few videos.
Yeah, oh, good. Thank you.
Yeah, if we don't have any more testimonies, we can do a
Does
session.
anyone want their dogs or cats? You know about that?
Mhm.
Yes, I have. Okay. And also, I have a good friend, 20 years We are friends, she's 20 years, she's in Venezuela. But she was, when I thought about the one, she was worried because she told me, Elisa, all testimony that I see is losing weight. And I am underweight, so I need to, but if I blow, I will lose weight. And I thought, the amazing thing about this one is that the body do whatever you need. So you need to lose weight, the body will let you to lose weight. But if you need recover weight, when you do that, because that is internal process, so you will get, and she got weight. So she is so happy that I told her that because she was worried and she was almost to her because all the testimony is about losing weight. So that is why I want to share this one because it's not always so that you balance your body and your body know what to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. Before we go, did we want to do that demo?
Yes, because there's, yeah, we can do a demo,
Yes.
yeah.
While we cue that up,
Balance test?
is that what it is?
Balance. Yeah.
Okay. I did want to introduce you all to my friend BJ, because she's doing something innovative in her office. You need to get queued up and set up. But BJ, would you come up here and just share a little bit about your wow treatment while they get ready to do that?
So I work in advanced aesthetics at a medical spa, and years ago I had a massage license, and I did a lot of massage and some with Young Living Oil, the raindrop therapy. So at Albany, I've asked if I would start doing raindrop therapy again because they were being requested, so we didn't have anybody to do it. And I said, sure, I'll do it because I can work under my MA or CNA and you can do it that way as well. And I said, but I'll do it on one condition, if I can come up with a wow treatment, which is wand, oils, and water. And so I have started to do wand the water, and I'll do like an alkaline bottle, like that. I'll give them a glass, I'll wand them, give them another glass, let them go to the restroom, then come back and do the raindrop therapy with gentle living essential oils. And when I get done, they're like, okay, when did I do this again? I've never been so relaxed and fun, tranquil in my life as right now after that treatment. So it's been a fun one just to walk. And I feel like I've lived two lives in one, and I'm kind of got back to passion that I used to do years ago. When you were saying you have plates and screws, I have plates and screws. I broke my right humerus, and it was like 99% did I need surgery. I opted not to do it. So I had about a 6-inch difference. He said I'd never get it back. I did but I started wanding, and I realized every once in a while I must have a short in my electrical thing under my dishwasher, and I could never plug it in. I couldn't reach that far, so I'd have a niece do it. The other day it went out, oh my God, this is ridiculous. So I went and I realized I could actually reach, and my reach is getting closer and closer.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't realize the little things
Yeah.
because we're so used to it because I never had surgery on my shoulder.
Right, okay.
And so I just figured that's the way it was gonna be until all of a sudden I was able to do this and I'm like, wait a minute, something, it's like getting on the floor. I was able to get on the floor and get up. And when I got up without help, I looked at Louie and I said, oh my God, did you just see what I did? And I said, wait a minute, I'm gonna do it again because I didn't believe it. And I got back down on the floor and got back up.
Oh my.
You don't really realize this.
Is. Okay, guys, we're gonna show you something that our sensei Eileen shows us. No, Eileen's called our sensei. It's something called a balance test. I'm sure many of you've seen it. So we have one new person. Would you like to be my little volunteer? Yes. Go ahead. Okay. It's not gonna be strenuous. Sonia? Okay, I'll meet you. Nice to meet you. Okay, we're gonna do just a little test with you. Now I'm gonna do 3 different ways to do the balance test, just so we all know. You're gonna put your hands out. I'm gonna have you resist me, and then we're gonna lift your leg to resist, okay? Try to resist me as much as you can. How do you tighten it? Yeah, all right. Don't let it fall. Now lift up your right leg for me, and do the same thing and resist me. Hold it up like that. Yeah. Okay. And then we're gonna, so if you guys haven't heard, the water can be used topically too. So, right now, we're just gonna show you how much radiation's in our body from like the Wi-Fi, the phones. But this can be used topically too, so we're gonna just put water.
No, I never thought that. That's when your body feels.
So you could use a spritz bottle to.
Yes, yes,
charge
we could.
water. Okay.
So go ahead and put your arms up again and one leg. And then still try to resist me, okay? Go ahead. Oh, see that?
Mm.
And then now where's the cell phone? Let me grab a cell phone. And this is just, we're just using the phone because it carries a lot of radiation.
Do you have an EMF on
this-
yours?
An EMF
On the back of it?
device.
Yeah, do you have a thing on
Like
the
a
back of
gold
the
shield?
shield? The shield.
Yeah, but this isn't mine.
Okay, I was
Like,
just
do you
wondering,
want
'cause
mine?
mine has it and it doesn't work.
It
Louise
won't work,
has it.
yeah. So this is just putting the radiation back in. So go ahead and put your arms out and then one leg. And we're gonna do it again. See? And it goes back in instantly.
Wow.
So you can use it
that.
topically as well. Can you tell? Can you feel the difference? Yeah. I'm gonna give you some water just for you to drink.
So you just use a regular water or you?
Okay.
Yeah, could you explain the?
Yes.
Glass.
So a big part to the wand is drinking functional water. So we just take the wand for, oh. Just turn the wand on and you just take any type of water, definitely filtered water, I would say to drink, and you're just charging it.
In glass,
And only glass.
in glass or ceramic,
Glass,
not then we
yeah.
have plastic.
A minute, 2 minutes, this size is a good minute. or two.
You don't have to go, it just means this one.
Yeah, yep. 2 minutes, 2 minutes, yeah.
And we wanted that water already.
Yeah, so Henry did charge it earlier, so it was charged. And now that the radiation is back in your body, go ahead and drink some water. So you can do it topically, you can do the wand, or you can drink water too. And it'll take the radiation out of our bodies. Then we're gonna do your arms again, and then lift your right leg.
Wow.
That was fast.
Thank you,
Yes,
Sonia.
thank you. That's now the step.
Powerful.
She will be our first person to warn afterward.
Yes. Good.
They were saying to wand from the top in, because if the glass has any kind of toxin in it, you're blowing it into your water now. So it's better to wand from the top down, just be very careful it doesn't splash. We were wanding that way, and then we heard that on a testimonial that we're actually on another thing on Tuesday nights. And they were saying that you don't know what the glass is made out of. You don't know how they made the glass.
Okay.
So there could be toxicity in the glass itself. So by doing that and heating it, you're blowing it now into your water. So from the top down is what they're suggesting. Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Then I would imagine that blow dryer holder. Would that device be good for holding there?
They say you should only have to do a minute or a minute and a half. Do you guys know how to crystal test?
With the pendulum.
Yeah, I have one.
So for those of you who are watching this recording, simply, we're talking about charging water. She's just saying to hold your wand above the jar or container that you're using instead of going to the side of it, right? So,
So this is the balance test. This is, I use this for my food. If anyone ever has seen, mine's lapis. And I'll show you how it works. My name is Judy. Stop. My name is Louie. See now the no is in the circle. So my yes is forward, my no is in the circle. Is this water wanded? That's a yes. Wow. Is this water wanded? Immediately, no. That's how you can test your water. You can do it with any grounded type of stone. Doesn't have to be something special. If you have a diamond on you, if you have lapis, if you have anything, yeah, anything, jade, it doesn't matter. But you can test your water, and they're saying you only need to do it a minute to a minute and a half. Any more than that, it's for your brain. It's not for the
Even
water.
bigger quantities.
Yes, I
That's
wanted
a
my
gallon.
bathtub,
Oh,
and I won my bathtub, and I take a bath in wanted water,
Awesome.
and well, my husband wanted it, but we do that for about 3 minutes, 5 minutes. And so, because I have a really large deep, but we have a 3 gallon, minute and a half to test it. No problem.
I used to do that 3 gallons for like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
And I got one of those stones, and after a minute and a half, it's doing its thing.
okay. And you need to remember,
Wasting time.
you need to ask the question of your own question, so you know which way is what way it works. And you can see my wrist is not moving, I'm not trying to do this. It is your body allowing the muscles in your body and energy to tell you. So if I tested any of that food in there, it would have absolutely been a big no for me, because I can't eat it. So this is the best way for you to check and make sure that your water is wanted.
Where did you get the stone?
When I just got at a crystal shop, but you can go to any shop, you can get any type of stone, rose quartz, whatever you're,
Which one?
connected to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, at first, before I had this, I just used my diamond necklace because it's a real stone. So it doesn't matter, but as long as it's a stone and it has energy in it, exactly. And then ask it the question so you know which way it is that it's working, yes or no. And it's gotta be a yes or no question.
Right, and I've heard that you can have your jar filled, and if you do add new water to it, that it will, the
Yes.
structured part of the water will transform what you add. And then you can check, yes, so you don't have to constantly be wanding every day. And then you can use your pendulum to check.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
And it lasts for 24 hours, it just doesn't disappear.
Right,
It still stays a little bit over 24 hours, so you don't have to like think, oh my God, it's not gonna work.
right.
You're good for a little bit over 24
Yes.
hours, at least 24, if not
Okay,
a
that's
little
good to
more.
know.
Yes,
The one that should be warm, right? Or just
yes,
Very gentle.
recommended.
in the, what do you call our protocol? I'll show you real quick before we wrap up. We have a booklet that you can grab from our Telegram channel, or have someone introduce this to you.
And do not shower 4 hours after you use the water. Always shower or bathe before, or go in a pool. So think about that. If you guys are swimming during the summer, you want to make sure that you wand before you go in, after you go into the pool. Because that will structurally change everything as well too.
Okay, so this is the blowing guide that many of us will refer to, and it goes through some of the instruction that you've been hearing. And it speaks to drinking 2 glasses of warm water or at minimum room temperature water. And then going through the protocol, this is what we call this taking 2 minutes at each of these focal points on your body. And at minimum, if you can't get through all the protocol, the hands and feet, of course, in drinking the water are essential. And as we go through different guidebooks, they speak about a lot of ailments, and the common thread is the back. So if there's a way that you can definitely work on the front and back of your body. So anyway, it goes through all of the details in this guidebook. So if you're watching this recording or listening here, make sure that you get your hands on these visual aids, all right? But I'm gonna just give you a quick overview of what's covered in this booklet, right? And there's a couple of them out there that we can send to you. All right, so I'll just stop share and just wrap up today by saying that we are excited that every Wednesday at 1 o'clock here in Las Vegas, we'll gather again. And I understand there's compliments of Eileen and Sunny. Thank you so much for feeding us lunch today. We're so thankful. There's nothing like community building around food. Thank you so much for that. So I believe it's at 12 noon. Lunch, and then followed by 1 o'clock. And we hope that you enjoyed yourself today, and we'll bring guests next week if you are living here in Las Vegas to get a taste of a little bit of what we experienced today. It may be different each week. Every night at 7 o'clock Pacific time on Zoom at the winningedge.online, we'll be gathering. And we try to cover one topic. Tonight is on cancer, and we'll be sharing some different videos, that clips, testimonials, information about cancer patients and their experience with the Iteracare one, right? So last week it was on pets and using Iteracare with our fur babies. And each week we will decide on a different topic. All right, so we look forward to seeing you on Zoom tonight, and let's see. And then we'll take questions afterwards. But to all of you on this recording, thank you so much for joining us. All right, everybody.
And then if, yeah,